Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Mom, 56 female, got caught cheating, and I, 29 male, do not know how to proceed. Parents have been married about 31 years and have known each other for about 35 years. There are 3 siblings in the family, the youngest being an individual with severe disabilities, such as being in a vegetative state, breathing tubes, feeding tubes, etc. Dad is a truck driver who works close to 100-hour work weeks and has made a great living off of it, into the 6 digits. Mom is a stay-at-home mom. I am a college student who assists with the care of brother. Same for the sister. Without getting too much into the weeds of things, the reason that I am living at home, it's mainly because my name is being used to create an LLC so that handicapped brother could receive all benefits. I am also the only individual who can assist with lifting my brother, as due to COVID, the nurses are no longer allowed, as my brother would certainly die. Sister assists in various ways as well. Now to the crux of the issue. My mom was caught by accident planning a party in another country. She had texted my dad's brother by accident, in which my uncle contacted my dad. He began to snoop about a week ago and found out that she had been in contact with family and friends in order to get contact information for an ex-boyfriend. As the days went by, we found more and more information and found out that they had been going on for well over a year, which leads to a separate problem that took place in 2017, which regarded the same individual. Did not find any conversations, as the WhatsApp's message was clear, although his name did appear. She was originally intending on going out of the country to fix paperwork in order to be able to sell properties that we own. However, she would be gone for about 2 weeks, and due to COVID, we were very concerned as to what exactly she was going to be doing. Had a very visceral and real moment with my dad last night, in which a lot of the truth came out that he had never spoken to me about his personal life. It is something that I will remember for the rest of my life, as it was just 2 humans talking about how existence truly is pain in this stupid world. Overslept, and by the time I woke up, they had apparently already had a discussion. Things seemed calm and I was quite confused. I managed to confront my dad for about 30 seconds later on, in which he essentially just told me to drop it. He would trust in my mom and see where it goes from there. This is a man who has sacrificed more than I will ever know to go above and beyond and provide not just a roof, but luxuries to me and my family. A man who endured brutal living conditions as a child and as a young man in order to get into this country. I feel completely confused, angry, and have even considered taking this extremely far towards the other individual and even my own mother. I have since calmed down, but I am just in a place of confusion and trying to settle down, but I do not see a future where I'm able to just move on. My family on my maternal side comes from a long lineage of pastors, my great-grandfather being one of the individuals who began the evangelical sect of Christianity in this particular country. I was raised extremely fundamental, and while I still believe, I have my skepticisms on religion itself, as I see it more like an individual relationship rather than some blanket term used to define your political stance. I just cannot believe that a woman with so many blessings, knowing how difficult life has been with my brother, knowing how difficult life itself can be, could commit infidelity. I can already foresee people saying just move out, and well, that is going to be quite a difficult proposition legally, financially, and in terms of my duty towards this family. Was hoping other individuals could pitch in with any ideas, opinions, or whatever else. Edit. Thank you to everyone who responded to this message. Honestly, every single message I received was great and gave me an insight into a perspective that I had not thought about. 1. Probably should talk to mom and hear her side of things without demonizing her. 2. I am way too intertwined into this marriage, and it is definitely beyond my scope. I should take many, many steps back and let them handle this. 3. While my mom is completely in the wrong, my dad may have facilitated this issue by being gone so much in order to be able to afford materialistic things. 4. Sort of disagree with that person on my brother's situation. The kid gets anxiety attacks whenever there's a new Blue's Clues episode, so I find it hard for him to be taken care of by other people, as neglect, abuse are a prevailing thing at these homes for handicapped people, such as himself. Let's get some community reaction. Majnix says, "It sounds like you need to give your dad a little more time to wrap his head around the situation and then gently ask his reasons. He is the one married to her. I get your difficult situation as almost a joint head of the house, but this is your father's marriage. You get to dictate your own relationship with your mother. It sounds like you have your own set of betrayal issues with her trying to go behind y'all back with liquidating assets. Since you and your father have already started down the line of open and frank communication, I would follow that avenue first and take your cue from him. He might know more about this circumstance, and there might be further entanglements. Alright, on to the next story. My wife, bipolar borderline personality disorder, had an affair with her boss. My wife started having an emotional affair with her boss in March. I caught her a few days into it, found the texts. She agreed to stop and we started couples counseling shortly thereafter. A month later, she saw a psychiatrist for the first time. She was diagnosed bipolar and borderline personality disorder. He said that the affair was most likely the result of a manic episode. There was also a lot of careless spending. She maxed out a couple high-balance credit cards. He put her on 5 different medications, including the antipsychotic, Abilify. Meds were gradually increased. By June, she was taking 15 milligrams of Abilify daily. During that month, she didn't seem like herself, almost emotionless, disconnected from reality. The compulsive shopping started up again, along with other strange erratic behavior. She finally confessed to having sex with her boss on 4 separate occasions during the month of June. She had a major panic attack while telling me and said she doesn't know why she did it. I was honestly in shock. We've been married 10 plus years and I could never see her doing anything like this. My first reaction was to file for divorce, but I'm having a tough time because of the circumstances. The way I see it, cheating is a choice, and regardless of her mental health issues, she still knows right from wrong. I didn't believe medication could be a factor at all, but after having talked to a therapist, her psychiatrist, and reading some of the stuff online, linked a few articles below, I've started to wonder if the meds played a factor. Could they have given her that extra nudge? Can a prescription drug really have that kind of effect on a person? Also, she admitted that when the incidents of infidelity occurred, alcohol was also involved. I guess I'm looking for any advice. She wants to salvage the marriage and get her illness under control. I'm devastated and completely broken right now. I'm scared if we stayed together that this could very well happen again. Forgot to mention, we have 2 young children, so that's also something to consider. Hoping someone with a similar experience can offer some guidance. Can it work, or is it hopeless? I'm happy to answer any questions anyone may have. Thanks! Let's see what kind of comment the OP got with this one. Rage Sadness All-in-One says, there are certain drugs that can have an effect on someone's dopamine levels. I'm on one right now. Frankly, I'm shocked that your wife's doctor would put her on drugs with those known effects, knowing that she already had issues with those specific areas. I take roperidol, and my doctor was very upfront with me about the side effects before giving me the medication and was very careful to check in with me frequently while weaning onto it for both spending habit changes and sexual behavioral changes, because of its known effects on people. I have a friend of a friend who, after 25 years of marriage, also started on this same medication and within 3 months spent his entire 401k on escorts and gambling after work. He and his wife are in counseling and they got to the root of the issue being the medication, but his doctor never warned him about the side effects. OP, that doesn't absolve her of any wrongdoing. When these things started, she had an opportunity to say, something's really wrong here and I need help. She was seeing a specialist, so I also blame them quite seriously here. While under their care, she not only got worse, but was not monitored? She does bear some responsibility, but there is definitely a grayer area here than normal. However, I don't believe that mental health is an excuse to cheat, and I don't believe that her actions shouldn't have consequences. And you should still be allowed to feel how you feel, and go through the normal betrayal process. Your feelings are still valid, regardless of the small extenuating circumstances on her part. Please seek a new doctor for her. This is quite sad that it got this far while under medical care. And on to one last story. Wife had been cheating on me and told me on my birthday. When I was 48, I was a correctional officer in my country. My wife told me on my birthday she was having an affair. He was the love of her life, with a guy, because I was working all the time. There were 5 of us and a huge mortgage. The next day, she moved out of our house and in with him, leaving the 3 children, youngest was 3, with me. The year before, I had had a triple bypass, but because of complications due to an assault at the prison, I was still not right, but had to go back to work. I did the best I could, but could not both work and look after the children, shift work. I resigned from the service and took on the role of a stay-at-home dad. After a lot of years of toil and sickness, it's now 16 years later. By the way, within a month of her leaving, she tells me she is pregnant. And the child she had with him turns out to be mine as well. We never got a divorce, and I am cordial to her for the sake of the kids. The children have very little contact with her and have grown up to be very stable and loving, and my son comes to visit often. I now have a beautiful grandson from my oldest boy. I have never been with another woman since. Call me wounded. I did what I needed to do, and life goes on. Alright, a couple of quick comments before we call it a day. Which way do I go 00 says, you sound like an extremely strong person. You should be proud of overcoming your medical issues, raising what sounds to be like 3 great kids and taking the brunt of the pain for your family. I hope you are able to focus on yourself and do all of the healing you need to. I know raising kids can take over any sense of self, but please take time for yourself now. And a comment from an old school VG nerd. Your, really should be your ex, wife is a trashy person. She specifically waited to tell you she had been cheating on you on your birthday, just to hurt you a bit more. You are out working all the time to provide for her and 3 children. She takes that and uses it as an excuse to cheat. Unbelievable. Did you actually DNA test the 4th child? I would have done that immediately.